personalized insurance quote. Allstate, are you in good hands?
Are you hungry for authentic Caribbean food? Like jerk chicken, oxtail, red snapper, shrimp, tofu, and rasta pasta? Well, find your way over to Mango's Caribbean Restaurant, 180 Auburn Avenue, right next to Royal Peacock in downtown Atlanta.
Them belly full, but we hungry.
Mango's Caribbean Restaurant, open daily from 11 a.m. to 10 p.m. And on Friday and Saturday, we're open till 4 a.m. Come to Mango's and put some spice in your life.
Oh, we've got a good thing going.
Mango's Caribbean Restaurant, 180 Auburn Avenue, right next to Royal Peacock in downtown Atlanta. For more info or directions, call 404-698-3992 or log on to mangoscaribbeanrestaurant.com. For instant coupons, text MANGOS to 313131.
Tell your mama hungry, papa hungry, brother hungry.
Mango's Caribbean Restaurant, authentic Caribbean cuisines.
Open up the door, tell your mama hungry.
Majesty is a premium health and wellness tea line focused on bringing delicious yet healthy tea blends to the community. Filled with an abundance of vitamins and antioxidants, we work to blend teas with exotic spices and fruits to produce scrumptious and wholesome beverages. So check us out at mymajesties.com. That's MyMajesties.com. My Majesties, an Urban Passport member.
Now, you can live in Texas and not have a good red meat blend. Texas Cowboy Dust is designed for steak and other red meats. It's out to be my most popular spice blend, made with onions, peppers, ground mushrooms, pink salt, and other spices. Texas Cowboy Dust also goes great with chicken, pork, vegetables, and adds a restaurant-quality sheen to gravies and sauces.
It's like a loop machine. Going around town, trying to get down.
Vanilla smoked sea salt seasoning is for seafood. The tarragon and fennel bring out the natural sweetness in seafood. I also use it in rice dishes, on yams, asparagus, blueberry pancakes, and believe it or not, chocolate chip cookies. Vanilla smoked sea salt adds a salty and savory component to sweet dishes that create a symphony for the tongue.
Have you had your Earth Blend coffee today? At Earth Blend Coffee, we take pride in offering you the very best of beans across the world, blended and roasted to perfection, giving you superior quality and satisfying and flavorful taste. Experience the world in one cup with Earth Blend Coffee.
What's happening? What's happening? What's happening? Welcome to Random Thoughts with DVP. What's going on, fam? Hey, Capri Sun. What's up, Dan? How's things going? Y'all need to make sure that y'all come to the page, Random Thoughts with DVP, and stop playing over here on these personal pages. Make sure y'all join me every Wednesday from 6 to 8 p.m. Eastern Standard Time as we talk about whatever comes up. All right. Well, this show today, let me do my thing. Y'all got me jumping rope. It's 6:02. Today is the 16th of December. What's going on? Terry, you know you're on the wrong page. Come on over to Random Thoughts with DVP. I just want to say hello. Welcome to my guests, new guests, former guests, and all my fam who just tune in with me to watch the show to see what's going on. But make sure you come join me at Random Thoughts with DVP. That's the page I need for y'all to follow. Support a black business. This one is free right now. All right. And I'm going to tell y'all some things about JBN in case y'all interested in doing a show like this, or if you got a product that you want to advertise, check me out or check out my super producer, Roy Evans. He'll be on and off. You know, he don't like to talk, but every now and then I say something that just gets up on him and he just jump on in there. So
you don't see me down here in the corner?
Oh, yeah, I see you, but, you know.
Oh, okay. I'm going to roll with you today. I ain't going to leave you hanging, dog.
But see, I don't see it on the big screen. On the big screen, I see me. That's why I asked you what's the commercial, because I ain't nothing playing on the big screen.
Oh, you know what? You're absolutely right. It's not. My bad.
Yeah, so you had me kind of confused. See, we was having technical difficulties there. That's what happens when you get big time. Sometimes, and I'm going to say this right quick.
Here come Lyle.
I was telling somebody, this is what's funny. Sometimes, no matter how much of a professional you are, and I used to work with a guy who did this, he had a list of things he did every day before he went to work. because when you get good at something, you start taking shortcuts and you forget simple things. I can tell you honestly, when I was a cop, I can tell you I at least went to work 5 times without a gun just because I forgot, which is crazy because you don't think you will forget that. And I understood why my friend had a checklist at the door because you get so used to doing certain things that you skip a step because you figure you got it all. Uh,
And
yeah,
I
I know
just
people,
skipped one. Bam.
you know,
Perfect
but yeah,
example.
I seen people come to work with house shoes on because they forgot to change shoes while they was coming out the door, and to me that was hilarious. What's up, Ernest? What's up, Tracy? So we'll start the show off with the monologue being just about those little basic steps. And it's funny because one of the things I always like to tell people to do is to write stuff down because we will forget stuff. And basically, when I'm telling people to write stuff down, it's got to deal with relationships and improving yourself. So I'm gonna just get into that for a minute. When you write stuff down, what happens is if you save it for future reference, what's up, Lyle? I ain't forget you, bro. Is you can revisit your old self. What's up, Terry? What's going on, man? Good to see you. And that's why it's good to write stuff down because it gives you a point of reference. You write it in data. It's almost like people say write a letter to yourself, but just write stuff down and revisit it in 6 months, a year, and see if you're that same person that you were, back then. What's your favorite thing? Who's your favorite person? Who you in love with? Who you crushing on? Just little things that we don't think a whole lot about, but just write them down and see how much you've changed. Because I always hate when people say on me, I ain't never changed for nobody. The only way not to change is kind of just like to die. What's up, Lee? What's up, Lee? I'm glad to see you here. Um, but yeah, maybe that's what we'll do. Um, maybe that'll be the 2021 challenge. What you think, Roy? Think we ought to just write stuff down and see where we at?
It's ironic that you say that. I think that's actually a really good idea, and so I'm gonna give you some statistics of some stuff that they talk about because I use this in a couple of my seminars. They say that you retain 20% of what you hear. Um, so like if somebody tells you something, you usually retain 20% of it. They say you retain like 50% of what you do. So like if you just do stuff, most of the time they say you'll retain like 50% of it. They actually say you retain of 70% of what you write down. So you actually retain more information with things that you write down, even more so than if you physically do them. And so that's one of those things I actually tried to get in. That's one, even in school, I was an avid note taker. You know what I'm saying? It's like so I took time and wrote a lot of stuff down in notes, and honestly, I didn't have to go back and revisit the notes a lot. I could get a lot of information just from what I remembered from writing it down.
And one of the things they teach you in the instructor academy is you show it to people first, you have them do it, then you have them tell you how to do it, and that way you keep pushing that button because they've done it. Now you make sure they understand because we all talk differently, and sometimes the message is lost. What you think, Mr. Lyle?
Definitely, man. That came across to me, dealing with a lot of women, they talk about their plans, they talk about vision boards and things like that. I actually did a vision board. It was a little class that I was doing, and that was helpful. But I'm gonna say going into this year, 2020, um, before I got my job in like February, I think it's like the end of the year or something like that. I made a little goal, and I know how important it is. I hear people talking about, but do I really do it as much as I should? No. But I actually wrote a few things down because I was doing school stuff anyway. So I had pen and paper there, and I just put on a piece of paper or whatever like that. And I forget, I put down about 3 or 4 things. Getting a new job was one of them. And then a couple of other things and when I looked back over the paper, because I wasn't looking for the paper, I
Right.
was just going through some other notes. And then when I ran across that paper, I was like, dang, this thing really, has come to fruition. I've been blessed. It's a lot. It wasn't about me. I know there's a lot of other things and reasons why that came about like that, man. But it did mean a lot that I wrote it down and that you're more conscious of it. You know what I'm saying? And being an instructor now, my organization ain't A1 yet, but we're getting it
Yeah.
there.
Well, and the good thing about when you write stuff down, is you're writing without emotion. When you're thinking about stuff, emotions will carry your thoughts depending on how you feeling. When you feeling down, you think one way. When you feeling up, you feeling one way. When you're writing, it's just a balanced check sheet. And like I said, it don't even have to be about your vision. It can just be like what's going on. Like I said, when I suggest couples do it, because over time, if you're with somebody who's actually bringing something to the table, your horizons will become broader. The things you used to like, as they introduce stuff to you, you may change. Um, Trina makes a great shrimp pasta. That's now my favorite meal. When I first met her, that was not my favorite meal. So, and to me, that's like one of those things that you look and you see where you are. Because if you're with somebody and they're bringing something to the table, you are gonna. I can't say grow, but you are going to. What's a good word? You're gonna step outside of your circle and learn new things. Um, I mean, it's no different,
You are gonna
right?
grow
Yeah,
because
right.
you're
And
expanding.
technically, that's what it is. Because and it's no different than having somebody new in your life, whether it's a spouse or significant other or even a good friend. Good friends bring you new trials and tribulations. They bring you new thought processes. They bring you new thought. The reason, I mean, I want to say, I think I'm in like 120 groups, and I pick and choose which ones I want to go to sometimes because I want something different. Uh, because in some of them, I don't know anybody. And people who don't know you, they tend to talk a whole lot more freer about things. When you're in a group with a bunch of people who know each other, and don't, because I'm in a couple of those. I ain't saying they ain't, those aren't honest groups, but everybody knows somebody. So people still on guard to what they say
You have
because
to be careful because you don't want to throw nobody
right,
under the bus.
right, or sometimes you just don't want to reveal too much about yourself. You know, when I think when Roy met me, I was doing club security. The things
Hmm.
people would tell me because they didn't know me, but they were so honest about some of the weirdest shit because they didn't know me. It's the same thing with bartenders because people just, it's like if you look a certain way, people just feel comfortable telling you stuff. And you be thinking, why the hell are you telling me all this? But it's almost like that when you're in groups where nobody knows you. I can ask certain questions and the answers I get to me are sometimes so amazing how freely people answer. Uh, yeah, it does look like blue is the color of the day. We ain't even playing that. Great minds think alike. What's up, Trina Marie? Mm. Uh,
Very pink is
Wait,
better though.
where your cup at,
Pink is
Lyle?
better. Well, I don't got nothing in it, man. Look, I
It
didn't
don't
top
matter.
of
You
the
just got to show it off. You know what I'm saying? You can put some water in
Yeah,
there.
I got you. I got you.
Hopefully, I'll have mine next week that I can start doing some things with.
Ah,
um, but yeah, but that's the thing when you start making these lists and then you look back over and you see the growth or you see the change. Actually, when people say, "Oh, I ain't gonna never change," if you ain't gonna never change, one, it means you're gonna be by yourself, but two, it means you're gonna die because hell, your beard ain't the same. There's some things that change about you. Hell, sometimes Roy want a beard, sometimes he don't. DVP ain't getting rid of his, uh, only because I've been threatened. So I want to put this on the record where I've been threatened that if something happens to my beard, that a physical ailment may befall me, loud. So if something happens, I want y'all to
right.
know who to look for. You know what I'm saying? I'm like, it's my beard. Why I can't, cut it, trim it, color it, whatever. Man, physical violence was all up in the air. I couldn't even believe that. Uh, See, she just threatened me on the page, man.
Wow.
Hey,
Hey,
I'm
she
blinking.
can do that.
I'm blinking twice. Y'all know what that mean? That mean call help.
Right. That's the code.
All right. But yeah. And so
Check it, y'all. For all y'all viewers out there in TV
check that
land,
out. Check that out.
hair, makeup, and more is looking so icy. Same leather that I have on my t-shirts for the ladies out there. Miss Trina did a killer job, got me right. Hmm.
And hey, see, they universal. You can put beer in them if you want to. They mugs.
That's
You
right.
just drink whatever.
That's what.
Hey, and you know what? And it's fun that's what we're gonna lead into is how men act, how men do things. I seen quite a few posts in the past 4 or 5 days with guys judging what men will or won't do, and I tell people the first thing real men do is they ain't got time to judge other people. A real man is gonna do what he needs to do for him in his situation. We talked about the differences, and I'm gonna use my two co-hosts right now. Roy
Yep.
Roy wanted to date with intent. DVP didn't. Did I judge Roy for his dating process? No, it worked for him. Mine works for me. I ain't got time to say, well, Roy, that's crazy. Why won't you just date to do this, yada yada yada? See, air quote, real men ain't got time to do that. A real man is too busy taking care of his business, make sure his things are flowing smooth, make sure his word. I got too many obstacles and fights I gotta do on my own without worrying about what Roy does. And when you got men who always trying to judge as a man, now what I can give you my opinion on bad choices. You know, if it's illegal, I definitely got some opinions. If it's detrimental to the race, I got opinions. But personal preferences, and the biggest, and I'm gonna get to Lyle in a minute, the biggest being what people prefer to do sexually, as long as that ain't with kids or illegal, who cares? Who cares? If you know, in one of my groups, one of the people I knew, they enjoy pegging. Hey man, to each his own. I don't want to do it, but who am I to say that?
What's that? Pegging?
Yeah.
What's pegging?
That's where you let your woman stick something in your rear.
Nah.
Oh hell.
Right, but if that's what they want to do,
that's why I ain't never heard of it. That's why I ain't never heard of it, because it's some bullshit.
But my thing is, if that's what two consenting adults want to do, they ain't involving children or hurting nobody. That's on them. Right. I ain't got time to say, oh, ain't no real man gonna do that. Hey, I know a lot of real dudes who do stuff that I would never do, but that's their lifestyle. That's what they want to do. It ain't hurting me and mine. It ain't illegal. You know, it's like when people
some people spend too much time worrying about other people. Right. You can't change that person. You can't affect it. So why is it even your business, or why you spending time on it and making posts about it and having a whole big to-do about some shit?
Right. Especially if the people involved in it ain't complaining, then right. If me and Trina like running around the house naked with brooms, acting like we witches and stuff, whose business is it? That's what me and Trina want to do. We're grown. That ain't what we do now. Let me just throw that out there for some of y'all crazy.
So go ahead.
Right. But who's to say that that's? I mean, you can feel how you want to, but for you to try to tell me I'm weird, or real men don't do this, or real men don't do that, you know, y'all are just wasting way too much energy when you ain't got nothing. You know, I just saw a post about okay, I can't tell y'all that one. Oh yes, I can. Anyway, the post said, it asked men, would you let your woman film you during oral sex? And this guy's like, ain't no real man gonna do that, dude. Shit. When did you become? Oh,
excuse me. Did I say that out loud?
For everybody, yeah.
Did I say that out loud?
You know, if you're in the videos, fine. That's what you do. If you ain't, then don't do it. But there's no real man or real woman that don't do it. You do whatever works for you, and that's what we got to get into. And now, as I was saying, Lyle, hey, Lyle is my partner. Lyle is religious. I'm not. I don't knock Lyle for that, because it works for Lyle. I'm not finna sit here and tell Lyle why he shouldn't be religious, because whatever his religion has done for him, it has got him this far in life. So guess what? That means it works for him. That's all that's important to Lyle. Lyle don't care what DVP think. And if DVP want to be, you know, here either. But if DVP want to be the head of the heathens list, then Lyle ain't got nothing to say, because DVP done got this far. And this whole, what a real man does, and even to another extent, what real women do. Real women and real men do things that help them become who they want to be. Whether it's a better person or a worse person, everybody don't want to rise to the top. So let's accept that as a fact. Everybody don't want to be the cream of the crop. Some people want to be mid-level. Some people want to be bottom feeders. We need those tiers. If that's what they want to do, let them do it. Hey, what's up, Mason? And Mason, and we talked about this the last show. Mason is one of them dudes who will kiss me, but Mason bigger than me, so I can't fight it. But I know Mace got love for me, because he's a Marine. I realize he's a little shell shock. But you know, that's him for me. If I call Mace, we ain't seen each other in 100 years. But I would say, if I needed something, Mace is one of them people who I could call. Yeah, I think Trina ain't met none of my best friends, because we don't see each other a lot. We just there whenever the phone rings. When my best friend caught COVID, Trina knew I was down. Oh, real men don't do this. Everybody get down. You know, we got into the whole thing about how men respond to things. We respond differently based on how we feel, where our comfort level is. But we got to quit judging people or thinking that they got to do it the way we do it, especially for
Yep.
you bottom feeding losers. What's up, Barbara? Some of y'all ain't got nothing and want to be quick to judge everybody. You know, does a real man date multiple women? If the multiple women okay with it, who am I to say no? Who am I to say no?
As long as he honest about it,
You
they.
know, do
That's right.
do women want to date multiple men? If that's what they want to do, if they grown about it, you
They
know,
want to be taken out by more than one person, so yes, they are
that,
dating more than one man.
that's their
We didn't say they
business.
had to have sex, right? Right,
But
and that is their business.
even if they want to have sex, that's their business. As long as they ain't doing it with kids, who are we to concern ourselves with somebody else's business? If that's what works for them, that's what works for them. And we got to stop trying to be so judgmental and force people into wanting to do something because we want to justify what we're doing.
Mm-hmm.
Oh yeah, yeah. No, but that's factual. If they bottom feeders, then they just what they are. That's just what they are.
But bottom feed, like I get what she said, because bottom feeders
Yeah.
to whose standard?
Yeah,
You know,
right.
because I'm gonna give you real quick an example about that, and then I'm gonna make the story a lot shorter than what it was. But when I used to work at Burger King, there was literally this lady, Miss B. I can't remember what her last name was. We called her Miss B, and she literally had been. This was in 80, 87, 88. She literally had been working for Burger King since they opened. She started work for the first Burger King at like 2 weeks after they first opened their doors, right? Now, mind you, this was Burger King started in the 60s. This was 1989. She was just what we call the board op. She made sandwiches, but she knew everything. And she was like, and one day I asked her, I'm like, Miss B, why you doing this? She's like, I'm like, you could be a manager, you could own multiple stores by now and all that. She's like, baby, I ain't trying to do all that. She was like, my husband got it. He can take care of the family, but he know that I like to get out and work. And we just stayed working. The money came in handy, helped us with our kids. And she say, when I finish my job at 5 o'clock, I go home and leave that damn job right where it's at. She's like, if I'm a manager, it interferes with my home life. It interferes with what I can do with my cheering. It interferes with all that. So she's like, I ain't never wanted that. She's like, now don't get it twisted. I get paid like I'm a manager at this point. But she was like, she didn't want the responsibility. And I, at that moment when she said that actually changed my whole perception on the word ambition. Because everybody does, just like we was talking about being an entrepreneur, D. Not everybody wants that. And we can't be down on people if they want to work, let them work. That's what they want to do.
And see, I learned that in the military because military has a special grade of people called specialists who don't want to be supervisors. But the thing is, everybody tell them, oh, you should do this. They don't want them extra. They getting paid. Hell, I was a training officer. I passed up several promotions, but one because I made more money as a training officer. But it kept me where I could get paid overtime. Had I taken one of those promotions, it would have took me out of overtime. But people say, "Oh, yeah. you should have took that promotion. You killing your career." And maybe so, but my bank account appreciates my decision making skill. And I didn't because the way my job was set up, I could make overtime. It was more important to me for that cash than how people thought about a title.
A title,
right?
Yep.
But
yeah.
and that's the thing when real. And I hate every time I see real. I say, real is defined truly by anatomy. If a fetus is born with a penis, he's a man. I don't know. I don't understand this whole real man thing. Now, if we get into the title of gentleman, there are certain things you do to require that gentleman title. There are certain things that you do to be considered a true grown-up. And it ain't just having birthdays. That's a mindset. But this whole man thing and thinking that one size fits all, you got 3 gentlemen right here. Depending on what you like, 2 of us ain't for you. Right off the rip. So does that make either one of us less of a man? No, it just means that people have preferences, but it don't take away from nobody. If you like hair, me and Roy straight off your list. We automatically disqualified. If you like facial hair, then Lyle is.
Then I'm a little more challenged.
Yeah,
okay, right.
Yeah.
Right,
so
right.
And the thing is everybody. Oh, real men grow beards. No, they don't. Real men do whatever suits them. Real men should always wear shirts and ties. Why? if my job ain't a certain type job,
bro.
But if my job ain't a certain tie job, why would I just walk around wearing a shirt and tie just to please other people? That's what real men and women don't do. They don't go around setting their life out to please other people. One of the greatest things my mom told me: if you don't live, sleep, or eat with somebody, fuck them. I mean, and not in the physical sense, but in the actual sense. I don't live, sleep, or eat with you, so your opinion truly doesn't matter to me. And my dad said, if they can't whoop your ass, they can't change your mind. That's how I got into fighting. But these are the things that we have to consider when everybody's judging and trying to qualify what a real man or a real woman is. What's going on, Denise? What Denise likes. It doesn't affect any of us. Denise may want, and I see this a lot. Women say they want a God-fearing man. That automatically excludes one of us. It don't mean I ain't a real man. It just means I ain't a God-fearing. But we got to get beyond. We got to get beyond this and stop letting people give us things where we change just for them and realize that's not our destiny. And even with this vaccine that's coming up, and I see people trying to strong arm people. Whether you want to take it or not, that's your thing. But don't try to shame other people who either want to take it or don't want to take it. Everybody got reasons that work for them.
It's like voting. It's your own independent decision and views and all of that. And one isn't contingent on the other one, and it doesn't make you a better or worse or any of that. So, man, it's a whole lot of generalization.
Well,
a lot of people generalize or put it way out there. You can't, because everybody's different.
But what it is people. These people who ain't real, they want a team. So they want to try to shame you into joining them. If you want to get a vaccine, that's fine. I don't care one way or another. If I want to get a vaccine, you shouldn't care one way if I don't. And it's like, oh, you doing this, you stupid for this, you stupid for that. Why? Because I don't agree with you. That's what's stupid, because before I make a decision, I need to check and see what the men's delegation say so I can keep my man card. You know how I feel about the men's delegation? What my mama said. As long as it worked for me and Trina, I'd be like, hey, man, if I was you, I wouldn't do that. It's cute, but he ain't me. So, again, it don't matter. And those are the things that we have to consider. When I always hear what's a real man in your opinion? A real man is what's a man for you? And this is for the ladies. What's a real man to you? That's just your preference. That's your preference but a real man is still a real man, because a real man for you and a real man, they got most of the same similarities, because they still have the anatomy. And that's pretty much what goes from there. But like I say, I'm looking at some of these posts where people trying to shame people into this. And I brought up the vaccine. And again, I don't care whether they take it or not. But for you to try to shame people and bring up the Tuskegee experiment, this is nothing like the Tuskegee experiment. Stop. And if most of us look at our left or right arm, somewhere in the area right there, we got a little remark about a vaccination that we took. Vaccines.
No, that's for you old people. The younger people don't have that.
Right. Well, that's what I'm saying. Most of them young people ain't on the show, no way. But if we had kids going to school, they got a series of vaccines before they went to school, because most of us didn't homeschool. These are things that have been going on. If you don't want to take it, just say you don't want to take it. But don't try to shame other people into a scenario that has nothing to do with them, because this is nothing like the Tuskegee. The Tuskegee experiment one wasn't for the whole world. And hell, most of us, because it's not our business, we still don't know what's in vaccines, because that's above our pay grade, as we say in the military. They can sit there and tell us everything is in it, and we're going to be just as confused as we are before anyway. And to me, the biggest thing is, most of us ain't going to be in the first 100,000 million people to get it. So we do get a chance to sit back and see how it affects other people, and that we'll have some pull with what we think. But stop trying to tell people that A, they should take it, or B, they shouldn't take it. They got to do what's best for them. What's up, Fontella? What time is it, Roy, before I jump on Fontella?
6:28.
Okay, Fontella, I'm going to let you slide. It's 6:28. You still past that time, but anyway. Right, and if you was in the military, we got tons of vaccines for everything. If you went overseas, you got vaccines. And it's like with anything else. No matter what you do, somebody's always going to get sick for something. People die from this. You do know people die from playing basketball. People die from having sex. People die from drinking water. People die, period. There's no one something that you can always blame death on other than death. So stop with the scare tactics because you don't want to do it unless you're going to provide relevant information that you know pertains to me or a group of us. Hell, we die because we keep eating fried chicken and salted food, but y'all ain't gonna stop that. So, you know, I just hate the whole narrative where we trying to push people and herd them into thinking that their way, my way, got to be the only way. The only way, you know. And you know, one of the things that we teach that I taught at the academy is get you a tool belt and put a bunch of different tools on there because sometimes the hammer works, sometimes the screwdriver works, sometimes you need a chainsaw. But there's nothing I can do that's gonna be, you know, if Roy asked me how to put a flashlight, I mean not a flashlight, a wall socket in, yeah, you need the screwdriver. Or that hammer is just not gonna work. I don't care what you're doing. Those are specific things. But when he's out doing things that are Roy specific, I can give him some pointers, but I can't tell him what's right for him and what's not. I can't tell him the best way to get to South DeKalb Mall. I can tell him one way. GPS might tell him another way. Google Maps might tell him another way. Hell, Lyle may know a back road. But and it's that whole thing, like I said, it's the whole thing of judging people and trying to make yourself feel better about your decision, good or bad, by trying to shame other people into picking what you pick. And that's just not how it works. And we got to accept that and stop trying to drag others down that dark hole with us. Because as I said many times before, and this has been before me, misery love company. Don't nobody want to be sad and alone by themselves. They want somebody to be there with them. And there's nothing wrong with a conspiracy theory. If your conspiracy theory involves legitimate thinking. Some of these conspiracy theories are hilarious. You know, I asked the people, because I went back and, you know, all y'all who was talking about 5G, what happened to that? You know, now the schools open up for a minute, they let the kids back in. What's up with that? I mean, the phone's still out. You mad at Bill Gates because he said something. You mad at everybody, but all your conspiracy theories have been debunked. Now you got some more conspiracy theories. But when they want them about that chicken sandwich, and I'm going to say this, and I'm going to move on from the conspiracy theory. For those of y'all who want to continually talk about they want to kill our race, just ask yourself one simple question. If they kill all us, who's going to do the work? It makes no sense. It makes no sense. It makes no sense. But if that's what you want to run with, that they trying to kill you, when there are much easier, more efficient ways of killing us and trying to get us to take a vaccine, because I do remember the conspiracy theorists initially saying that melanin protected you from getting the coronavirus.
Well, we found out that was wrong.
Right, but ain't none of them admitted they was wrong yet. But oh yeah, you know, the melanin protects you from this, melanin protects you from that. You know, and all I'm saying is, yeah, do your own research, make your own decisions. Luckily, through Facebook, I actually one of my Facebook friends was actually on the trial thing. He volunteered to take the early vaccines, and he's a doctor, and he does infectious diseases. And it's funny how many people will argue with him when he puts stuff down. He'll put stuff down. This is a doctor of infectious diseases, over 15, 20 years in the process, and people will still argue with him. And I just think that's so amazing. I mean, it's cool to ask him questions, you know, because he made a post about them inserting this chip in us. And I guess y'all really must not know what a chip is and how needles look. For a chip to be inside of a needle, inside of fluid, them to push it in your arm and you not notice it, that you want some X-Files type shit.
Okay.
They kind of need to do
You've
surgery.
been watching too much TV.
Yeah, you kind of need to do a little bit of surgery just to put that chip in there. But you know, if you got a conspiracy theory, I ain't here to knock you for it. Just stop trying to knock me because I ain't going for it. Oh, see, you one of the sheep. We're all sheep. We're all sheep. We all follow somebody. Everybody follows somebody, good, bad, or indifferent. And you know, so and I wanted to bring up money because one of my guests asked me to say something about money. Money.
What about money?
Right, and how we got to start dealing with it. And I'm gonna do a couple of shows next year specific to investing, specific to savings, IRAs, because those are a lot of things that we don't understand and we don't really know where to get information. Because you can talk to a financial specialist, but most of us, for whatever reason, we don't know that we can do it with little or nothing. On my to-do list, I finally opened up a Charles Schwab account last week because I keep talking about investing. I keep talking about investing, and y'all know how I feel. If I'm telling y'all should get into things, if I ain't doing it, that makes me a hypocrite. So I opened up a Charles Schwab account. I'm gonna have a couple of conversations with the people. I'm gonna do a little. I'm gonna do a little play investing. I made sure I had $200 that I was saving. I was saved up all my little change every day. I put my little coins in the coin jar. Then when I got to a certain amount, I said, okay, this is what I'm gonna play with because this is just play money now. Um, so we're there, but we need to learn how to balance our money. We need to know how to plan for. We need to know how to plan for the future without leaving our kids or whoever behind with pure debt because everything we did was selfish. Um, you know, bro, can we block Trina?
Yeah.
But I mean, Lyle,
Oh, she did.
you
What up?
talking about did I give away her $40?
Uh-oh.
Um, do you have a retirement plan?
Yeah.
Okay, Roy, do you have a retirement plan?
Nope. Well,
See,
no, no, well, no. Let me change that. Yes, I do. I don't have a. The better question you probably should ask is, Lyle, do you have something similar to a 401k type of retirement plan? Because my retirement plan don't include putting nothing into nobody else's thing. My business is my retirement plan.
Okay.
So I get what you're saying. Because yeah, I don't have like a 401k or any of that stuff.
Right, and I guess that's yeah. Do you have something put aside where you'll have money when you don't want to work anymore?
No, I don't have anything because that's what I'm building now.
Right, and that's one of them things that it sucks, but that's one of them things somebody should have told us in our 20s to start putting away $100 here and there, because that's when most of us had our most disposable income, because we were just young and wild buying crazy shit. And it's sad that that's one of them things that they teach you about later on in life. But one of the great things, again, the military taught me is once you learn how to live off $800, let that be your base. Everything you get above that, put somewhere else. And that's one of those money conversations that we just need to sit down and truly talk about and understand how it works, so that we can prepare to stop working. I mean, yeah, I'm blessed. I'm truly blessed now that I don't have to work because I actually retired from a job 10 years ago. Most people can't say that. I work now because I want to. Or cause Trina trying to get $40 from me because she's strong arming me, as y'all can see. But most people didn't. Most people don't plan that. My partner Mason retired, but most of us don't even have jobs that are retirable from. And that's one of the things nobody ever tells us about. I stayed at that job just because I knew at the end of the day it was gonna give me benefits that certain other jobs that paid me more wasn't gonna get. I ain't knocking nobody, but that's one of them things. What do you want to? What do you do? How are we setting this up? And that's one of those things that we need to discuss about how we use money. One of my friends was like, yeah, everybody need a house. No, everybody doesn't need a house. A house is a whole different expense. And we've learned from the crash that all houses are not truly investments. You gotta take your time and make sure that the house is a good value. But the housing market crashed, what was it, 5-6 years ago? And but forever,
more than once, actually. Shit.
Yeah, but forever we was always told a house is a great investment. It's really not, because having a house means that you're doing a lot of self-maintenance. And I wouldn't recommend that for the average woman. Even for my mom. My mom is in a condo because my mom ain't finna cut no grass. She ain't finna do all that stuff. She needs something where she has a repairman. She make her son do it. But if you don't have those skills, that's a whole nother financial burden that you end up incurring by trying to have a house. And it, like me and Roy was talking about earlier about running your own business. People don't understand how hard it is, truly hard it is to run your own business. And having a great work ethic is cute, but you need people to pay you. Your work ethic don't mean shit if you don't have clients who are paying. Nobody gets there by themselves. I can be the greatest bodyguard in the world, but if I don't have clients, what does that mean? Lyle can do all the hair he want to, but if everybody decide they want to go bald at once, then what does that mean? He can't pay himself to cut his own hair. So when people always say, "Oh yeah, you got to have your own business," that's a great for me in my mindset. That's a great addition too. If it take off, fine, but make sure you putting some money off to the side so that you can prepare for the future. But again, people don't understand that, and I'm gonna let Roy say some things on that. That even when you do this, when you open up your own business, it ain't like my business is almost self-serving. Mine didn't require a lot of startup because I was the guy. All I needed to do was have a gun, which I had, and a passport, which I had. So in theory, for me to start my own business as a security firm, it cost me, we'll just say, it cost me $600. For me to maintain it, I just got to pay a licensing fee, which cost me about $75. Okay.
Wait a minute. Hold up. Let me get the speaker view. Tell her put it back in there so everybody can see it, so I can get a good look at it. Look, there you go. All right now. Now. See, Trina, I'm not gonna fuss because I like free stuff. But see, now you trying to get me to drink more liquor because I was supposed to get a coffee cup.
See, hey, and that's what happened. So, Roy, yours is coming. We just got to meet up in Hateville one day.
I got you.
So that was a commercial break. She said she ain't done yet. She just wanted to come. She just wanted to come give you a teaser.
All right, now.
But yeah,
shoot, you know what? We need to talk about that because I got some folks. We gonna put that on the website, and it'll be. We got a merchandise section on the new sites that we dropping off for the network, and we'll put all that stuff on the site. And then people are ordering from us, and then we shoot them to you. So I'm gonna need what the wholesale price is. Holla at your boy. So okay, I'm sorry.
Everybody need to be branded. Leah's on here. She got Styles 50. She does masks. She does some crochet stuff. This is what we do. But having your own business, and we talking about having your own business, being your own boss. It's not all roses and hugs.
Yeah,
there are a lot of days. I mean, like I said, I'm gonna let Lyle and Roy speak for themselves. But there are days when you don't have clients. When you don't have clients, guess what that means? You don't have income. So you got to go out and find clients or hope that word of mouth is getting out that people will eventually come to you. See, so when you don't have them clients, what do? Because most businesses are set up to fail because they don't plan. They don't have a nest egg. Because even when I started my security company, I started my first security company almost 30 years ago. And gradually, I put money aside so that when I got employees, when I got this, when I got that, because, like I said, it cost me roughly $75 a year through taxes and whatever to keep my license. But everything I need for the company is there. Roy's company is totally different. Roy needs way more than what I need. Lyle needs more than what I need. Lyle got to stay fresh. He got to get the chairs for people. He got to get the tools and materials.
The clippers,
all I gotta get, all I need is a gun, a vest, and a passport, maybe a car. Things that I already had from my other job. So my initial startup fee wasn't that much. So when people are saying this stuff, Lee do her stuff, she gotta buy product. Trina does her thing, you gotta buy product. What happens when nobody purchases your product? You stuck with a lot of money in limbo.
A whole lot of inventory
that you can't use. I can still use my gun for everyday stuff. I can still use my vest for everyday stuff. If Roy got a lot of radio equipment and the latest gadgets and all this, with nobody doing shows, what are he gonna do with all that? What are he gonna do with all of it? Become a porn? He gonna become the next Ron Jeremy and be recording porn for people? What is Lyle gonna do with that chair if everybody decide they can't get their haircut?
Hey, look,
everybody is not going to decide they can't get their haircut. Everybody got hair, and it's going to be there.
Hold on, everybody ain't got hair.
And don't get it twisted. I done edited some videos for some folks who needed it done.
I ain't saying nothing, but
I done been called up and be like, hey, I know you do video stuff, and we kind of trust you. Can you edit this video that me and my man did? And hey, where that?
Hey man, I ain't got nothing to say. But Lyle, what were some of the hardships about starting your own business?
Finding a good place for me, just because I decided not to own salon yet, so I didn't have that startup. But location. With that location, you wanna make sure that you're getting some kind of traffic. I've never really depended on walk-ins. People always say when they go to a new shop, well, do you get walk-ins? Do you get walk-ins? You got to be your own marketing tool. So, but it's always tough. Getting clients can sometimes, be tough. So that's definitely a big part of it. Getting your tools and things like that wasn't bad. I go to all the big hair shows and things like that. And I'm always updating. That always makes me marketable and things like that. So that helps me spread the game. But look, so when you talk about it, like I always tell y'all, I say COVID kind of got me. I'm trying to go and see your Facebook, so that's what I'm doing. Cause I don't, but it could have got me three ways. I mean, barbering, the guys who hair I cut, the women's who makeup I do, and the women's who hair I do. So, God is good. That's the only reason it wasn't crazy, but it definitely could have been, and it's still based on the same thing: client, client, client. So.
And a lot of it is based on word of mouth. You want to be good at what you do so that people tell other people. And that's why I hate when people say, "Oh, I'm self-made." Nobody's self-made unless you just happen to be lost in the woods and fell up on a big piece of gold or something. Everything you did required somebody else to believe in you or to invest in you. Mm-hmm. Without clients, most of us ain't shit. Roy, what are some of the hardships that you face trying to be an entrepreneur?
Well, from the status of the stuff like you were talking about, actually, for me, one of the things that we do look for is investors, people to come in and do investing. We look for advertisers. For both, compared to what both of y'all probably did, my startup, I think my startup costed me, in order to be able to do what I wanted to do at the level that I wanted to do it, my startup was about $5,000 to $7,000 in equipment that that I had to get in order, like I said, in order to be able to produce at the level that I wanted to. And it took me the first set, it probably took me a year and a half to make that $7,000 back before I started getting into other stuff. But my biggest challenge, because of the fact that we're a network and I have a very specific mission. So, and this is one of the things that I talk to people about, and I'm very open with people that work with me. D, you and I have had these conversations. Anybody that comes on the team with me, I sit down with them and have this conversation, because the primary goal of my broadcast networks, there's two primary goals that we have. One is to tell stories for and about and by black people. We want to stop other people from dictating who we are from an imagery standpoint. The second thing, which is just as important, is the opportunity for black-owned businesses to be able to advertise. Okay, yeah, loud, because I think I'm hearing me.
I'm trying to turn it down, bro.
Okay.
just mute it.
I was going to, he got it. But, okay. But so that was that's the biggest thing for me. And so I've done a lot of work with small nonprofits and then just small black-owned businesses. And so cash flow ends up being the biggest challenge, because people be like, hey, can I break this up to make this payment? And hey, can I do this? And because of the fact that I'm working with small business owners, I get it, because I've been there. I've been that person, and I understand. And when people actually get with us, they realize, dude, I'm getting so much more than what I had even thought I was going to be getting. But that's my biggest challenge, is cash flow, and then getting people as black people to understand the value of advertising, especially in today's society, because everybody sweated their Instagram page, and just the word of mouth is going to carry them. And the problem is, it's you catch these people like Slutty Vegan went viral. Yeah, I mean, that ain't gonna happen to everybody, because you know why? And I'm gonna be real about it. Just like with what Katrina does, I done been hit with 5 different people who done sent me messages about, hey, I do this, and then I tell them I got somebody to do it. And we deal with that. People, all the stuff that people do, and there are hundreds of people out there let me change that. There are thousands to millions of people out there doing stuff, and they all on social media thinking the same thing, that they're going to get the majority of their clients just from what they do on social media, when they don't understand that your social media circle is really just your normal circle of people anyway.
Right.
To try to get them to understand the value of advertising. So.
And even beyond advertising, because don't get me wrong, advertising is always a great thing. I mean, I can say, and Trina can say, me putting this glass on one show got her first 3 orders because Trina wasn't prepared to go into business, which is why she didn't even have a name at the time. But if you don't put thought processes into your customer and customer service, it's like what Lee said. You know, she got into massive business because of demand. Then when it slowed down, she had to come up with something else if she wanted to keep generating revenue. That's always the way, because as disposable income dips, people who depend on disposable income for survival, they got to find something else to do to maintain. You heard Lyle talking about, you know, at some point, I'm sure he would like to have his own shop, but right now with things that's going on, that's not something that should be a priority right now. We don't know what the next 6 to 12 months is going to bring, but having his own customers, and that's the great thing, because that's how my business started. My own customers, my own clients helped me put money to the side, so when something big came along, I had the money. So when I wanted to do a big event and they told me that I had to put down a $5,000 to get this insurance policy, I had it from my personal clients whose money I had been putting aside because I had another job. Because, you know, one of the things that my dad and some other people told me, do what you have to so that you can do what you want to
do.
So I worked a real job so that I could put money to the side so I could eventually retire and do what I wanted to. And that's, you know, as Roy was saying, a lot of people, we keep thinking, between social media, whatever, we're going to blow up. And it's very rarely your friends who blow you up. Because as you'll see, for those of y'all who actually have a product, look and see who shares your posts. Look and see who shares your products. You'll find out most time it's random strangers, more so than your core group. They'll tell you congratulations, and don't get me wrong, ain't nothing wrong with congratulations. But when you hit the congratulations button, hit that share button too. Hit that share button. Let other people see it. And it's so crazy how people will challenge, you know, your product. One of Trina's Facebook friends, and I asked her, I said, do you even know this guy? She's like, no, only from Facebook. He already want a discount on his glass. You want to buy one glass and get a discount. You got to be shitting me. You want, you know, and he talking about how much other people do it. Dude, buy it from them. Buy it from them. We not bottom feeders. I took one of her glasses to work, and we got $500 in 2 days. So, you know, we ain't over here struggling, and we not at that point where we got such a shitty product that we will negotiate for pennies on the dollar. That's just not the way this goes. Roy, I fuss at Roy. Roy trying to give y'all a discount. Roy has a great service going. I can say this simply because of how it's affected me and Trina. I can say this based on just some of the things that happen where we talk about this. I've been with other networks, and I've shared products, and you know they claimed to have, you know, they were in different countries and different other mediums, and nothing came from it. But what did come from it, as we were noticing, is I brought them traffic. They didn't bring me shit. I came back home because what Roy offers is a great product. That's why Roy getting the glass. You know what I'm saying? That's the least I can do to show my appreciation. 1, for him taking me back. 2, for him doing what he does. But as Lee says, friends and families, they can be the worst customers. I mean, we all got that's what's up. We all got a couple loyal friends who will buy from us. I want Cinnamon King just jump right on in. She got some stuff. And she made me come out in the cold, her and Lyle, because they didn't want to be on the natural rotation. But you know, they order stuff, and that's all we're saying. If you got friends who got something and they got a legitimate product, don't overbuy. Buy and see if you like the product first. Buy and see if you like it. But go from there. But nobody is self-made on their own. And being an entrepreneur is highly overrated for the average person. It takes time. Cinnamon King can tell you how long she's been trying to get her process going. And she does melanin beauty supplies. I'm gonna have a couple of her products on soon. When she gets some more inventory, she's gonna send me some stuff.
Now I got a question about that too. When I saw that, what does melanin business supplies mean? Or I mean, beauty supplies mean? Is that just a name, or is it? I'm sorry. Go ahead.
Well, from what I gather, it's mostly for people of color, and it's using a lot of our products. I'm gonna have her on the show so she can talk about it, because I hate to talk about other people's stuff because they can say it better than me and they can be way more accurate.
She need to get one of these advertising deals before I turn the new year in. We definitely get some of that, because I know way too many hairdressers and people, and I can get folks to try stuff.
Yeah, and then there's Lyle. See, there's a natural connection, and that's kind of what you want to do. You want to make connections where people can have a circle, so your proper your stuff gets seen and used by more people. See, I can use this. I can do this on the show all the time. I can get Lyle and Roy glasses, and guess what? When they places they can drink out of them and they promote. Same thing. When people see the glass and I talk about the show, I tell them about JBN. I tell them about Roy. I tell them about advertising. And this is how you cross connect so many things, and you want to get a good circle. But these are the things that we have to learn to do. But again, we have to understand money. It costs money when you start wanting to invest in yourself. It costs time. It costs you sleepless nights. There are times when I'm sure I had to step away for a minute, but I'm gonna speak for all three of us. There have been times when all three of us didn't want to go to work, but we realized who the boss was. When you're the boss, guess what you can't do? You can't call out, because you are it. Especially when you first start off and you're the boss and the worker. When people want stuff, guess what you got to do? You got to suck it up. When you got that cold and your nasal stopped up and you tired and sleepy, you understand that if you don't do it, you don't get paid. So guess what you do? You get your tired ass up, you slug through the day, you keep drinking vitamin C and taking aspirin, whatever you got to do, but that's how you make your money. And everybody who say, oh, I'm a hard worker, some of them ain't about that life. Because if you don't do it, it don't get done. At some point, Lee, Cinnamon, Trina, Roy, me, La, we all dream about the day when we got 10 or 15 employees. And we can just sit back and be taking trips to another country, and we got people running our stuff. But in the meantime and in between time, hell, again, I'm gonna use Roy. Roy, how many times in this show you had to run off and go take care of some other business and left me on my own? But this is what we do, because he got to make it work. He got to make it work the best he can until he gets to that point where he's comfortable. And that's what being an entrepreneur is about. But it's about, you have to give up a lot of your own personal time and energy, because there ain't nobody to push it back on. So when people say, oh yeah, I did this by myself. Hell, Lee sent us some masks. Y'all know for the longest I would show Lee masks on the thing. Hey, because I'm all about supporting anybody. And I tell you, I will promote your product. If you send it to me and I like it, I'm a damn sure promote it. Now, and the only difference in Roy got a package for you. So understand, not just my show, but other shows. He was talking about doing some music. So your commercial, your advertising space won't just go on Random Thoughts with DVP. Because Roy already fussed at me. So, ladies and gentlemen, be ready for it next year, because I'm gonna be forced against my will. Him and Trina strong arming me, but we're gonna do commercial breaks. I know it's cute when I do these little pop-up in-show ads, but we're gonna become more formatted, which is what happens when you grow and get successful. Notice everybody's favorite radio station, the first reason you like the most of the time is because you didn't hear that many commercials. That's a sign that they were new. As they got bigger and better, more advertisers came in and they wanted to make that money. And that's just the way it is. But we're going to do more commercials. So Lee, Cinnamon, Trina, y'all know what it is. So go on and get on this deal. Because I'm going to share your stuff, because I believe in it. We're going to promote black-owned businesses regardless. But if you want the full promotion, as you can see some of the commercials, and what we're going to do is Roy, we're gonna take a quick break. Roy, I want you to run a couple of commercials so they can see kind of what it is they getting. And Roy's a producer, work with him. He can work with you. If you ain't got all of it together, tell him what you want. Let Roy do it. Roy gonna charge you. You know what? Roy don't mind. Let him earn his money. Roy don't mind putting some stuff together, but you gotta help him help you. He can't help you by himself. So Roy, you want to take? Can we take like a 36-second commercial break?
I got you.
We're on you, sir. We'll be right back. Random Thoughts with DVP.
Have you had your Earth Blend coffee today? At Earth Blend Coffee, we take pride in offering you the very best of beans across the world, blended and roasted to perfection. giving you superior quality and satisfying and flavorful taste. Experience the world in one cup with Earth Blend Coffee.
It's never too early to plant the seed, to share the tradition, and instill a sense of pride in your HBCU with your little ones. HBCU Pride and Joy Children's Boutique helps you share your school spirit with a wide selection of adorable kids' apparel and accessories officially licensed from your favorite HBCU. Visit hbcupridejoy.com and follow us on all social media at HBCU Pride Joy on Facebook and Twitter.
All right, so we back, like I said, and that's pretty much what you get. You know, we're gonna have some things. This is what we're gonna do. We're gonna y'all already know. If y'all know me, I'm gonna support what you're doing. This is what Roy does. This is what we're gonna do. I took my time. I was getting a little comfortable here. But this is what we gotta do. We gotta help that. We gotta get us outside of our normal circle of friends. A couple of my clients have purchased glasses from Trina. This is what we're doing. Come join in. And this is how we get to circulating the money. I ain't going to tell you simply to buy black, because I'm full disclosure. I'm not going to buy from you just because you're black. You need to have a good product. Simply saying that you're a black-owned business and I should support you because of that, we got to stick together. To me, that's BS. You know, I got a couple of black clients, but I got way more white clients. The black clients were always trying to nickel and dime me, which is why I require my money up front. That tells me a lot about what's going on with people. Just because I understand my end of the business. See, Roy's trying to do his thing, and the difference is, when I was in Roy's, and Roy been doing this a long time. Remember, I started mine 30 years ago. Initially, I did take money. I did try to work with people. No, trying to work with people when you carry a gun don't work as good when you're customer service oriented. But at a point, you just need your money, and that tells me what you're serious about. Because if I'm gonna rearrange my work schedule, take off days, and make these plans, and then you call me at the last minute and cancel, I don't spend all this money preparing for this, and you cancel. I'm out of my money. I'm out of too much. So that just don't work for me. People who run businesses, when you order stuff from eBay, you don't, most of y'all ain't old enough to remember this, but we used to have a thing called COD, which means you pay when the post office delivers. They don't do that anymore. You pay for the product, they deliver the product, not the other way around. When you order from Amazon, eBay, whoever it is, you pay first. Now, if you don't like what it is, they got ways to do it, but too many times people don't understand that process. And if that's what you're into, you lose out on a whole lot. And most of us who have business sense, we weren't taught that whole process. We learning on the fly. And, all of us probably at least got 2 or 3 war stories we can tell about somebody that we gave too many chances, or, we was trying to be a good person and we working with somebody who wasn't working with us. And you know what? That happens with business. It's part of the learning process. So this is why we got to be more educated with money, because, as I said, I just opened up a Charles Schwab account because I had been saving my little nickels and dimes. One of the things I learned is you put all them to the side, you put them away every day, then you count them, then you invest in something, because that's money that you really don't use. And I had said I wanted to do some stock stuff. So I got Cinnamon, who gonna come on the show, and she gonna tell us about stocks and stuff. John L., part of my management team, is gonna do it, and we're gonna talk about it, because that's something that this will work well for Roy, because Roy is patient. If you're looking to make an investment and get rich in 30 to 45 days, it's not going to happen. But if you can make an investment and give it 3, 4, 6, 7 years, guess what? That's how the return is coming. I was watching an interview with a guy, and he was saying that Bill Gates is giving away the formula, and most people don't want to follow it. And Bill Gates' basic advice for investors is be patient. You're going to have your ups and downs, but if you can ride them out, that's why you need to start off with, most of us need to start off with disposable money. If you can ride them out, look at how long it took Apple to become Apple. But had you bought Apple back in the day or had you bought Amazon back in the day, look at where you be now. But you would have had to ride it out. And we're too deep into this get rich quick scheme. You know, I had to ride out a job for 20 years to get all these little wonderful benefits that I'm getting. That's part of the process. Um, you know what? Me and Trina, we're gonna have a domestic violence show. She's her and I come home. She got Amazon Prime. They stuck in the driveway, which only meant why is he in the grass? I mean, he's gonna be here for a minute, but that's a whole nother show about when the Amazon Prime driver know your girlfriend on the personal level. Um, but yeah, these are the things that truly we got to do when we start talking about business and making money. But this is why I say, hey, if you got a good product, hit me up, hit Roy up, or say something and get what he got a hella deal going now. He got a hella deal. Um, and y'all know how we do it on here. We got the time, we got the forum. We're gonna have uncomfortable conversations. We're gonna promote black-owned businesses. We're gonna do our part. Roy got some things planned for next year that we're gonna do some. I'm sorry, that he's gonna do some live pop-up events. And once it's safe again, I'm gonna go back to being live and being places. And this is one of the things that I say with absolute confidence. Absolute. Me and Roy a few years ago, we started going to Mangoes, and I paid attention because I'm a businessman. Mangoes had a few customers the first time we went, and I'm watching. They had like 3 or 4 people. The next time they had like 8 or 9, but 6 of them were mine. The next time they had like 20 or 30. 80% were mine because people wanted to come out and be a part of the show. And I'm all down. I'm all for that. And we're going to get back into that when it's safe to do so. But that was an unexpected boom. And Roy kind of gave me the big head. And I'm going to say this because I'm proud of it. Roy had a show that followed mine that had 3 women. Or was it 4? But I had way more viewers than they did. And I'm like, damn, a show with 4 women and I'm still the shit. I'm still the shit. I was proud of that. But it was something that we did. Hell, who didn't I have a bunch of people when we was at Mango? Didn't I have?
Oh yeah. Oh yeah, I know his show was the thing, and it was. I'm not one of those people to try to blow smoke up people behind. Like he said, I've always believed that this thing was never going to be built just by me. I knew I was going to need people, especially because I actually tried to avoid being in front of the camera. I'm good at it and stuff like that, but I don't like doing it. I'd rather be incognito, as my roommate used to say. People don't have to know who I am. I'm not that type of guy. And that's one of the things that we tout now as a network. Our goal is to promote the shows. We promote the shows that we do more than we actually promote the network, because ultimately people are going to find out about us because they have to come to see the show. And so, like, we got some stuff we getting ready. Like you said, we got some stuff we're doing for him. But yeah, his show, when we got started with it, I mean, I knew it was going to happen. I knew his show was going to be popular.
He knew better than me because I didn't want to do it. I tell you, it's crazy. This was only supposed to be a 90-day event. Bro, make sure you answer Lee. She wants to know.
Yeah, no, I heard her. Yeah, I was gonna wait for you to give me a chance to get in there, so we'll get to it.
But yeah, this is what Roy did for me. Roy challenged me to it. I was gonna do it for 90 days. I was gonna be done with it. We went from having, I want to say, the first couple of people, I think it was Sharon, Yolanda.
They were
Kathy.
friends of mine.
But no,
I'm about to say, did some of your people, yeah.
We blew up. Then we just blew up. Because the first show was supposed to be, the second show was supposed to be 60 minutes. It ended up being 90 minutes. Because it's fun. This is only supposed to be a 60-minute show. But at 60 minutes, we had too many people coming in, which was a great thing. But it goes to show what you can do with a great collaboration. Roy had some people who were supporting him. I had people who I didn't even know who started supporting me. Yeah. Roy thought I had a message. I don't know what the message was because it was just random thoughts. But it turned out to be a great marriage. And, I can say this. Hell, when I was gone, I did miss him. Next year we may even try to do call-in. I don't know how I feel about y'all calling in yet, but we may try some call-ins because we're going to make it so that you enjoy this whole interaction thing. It's not just about me. For those of y'all who remember the days I was doing the door thing, I still got my little partition, but, my knees are a little different. I can't be on the floor the whole time now. But like I said, this is what we're going to do, and this is the part about the money. and the myths about making money. It is hard work, but you have to give up on yourself sometimes. There are times when I don't want to do the show because I'm tired. There are times where I would prefer that I didn't do the show. Shit, I know one day I said, "Hey, Roy, I don't think I'm able to make it." I don't even think I put make it yet before Roy sent me okay, because he probably was tired too. But consistency is the key, and that's what you got to keep going at, and you got to put something into it, and don't let people sway you from that. Understand this though. Understand this. This is probably the most important thing you got to learn about true business. When you're talking to people, know the difference between who's critiquing you versus who's criticizing you. Critiquing is when they tell you what's wrong with your product. Most of y'all who have inboxed me or said something, first thing I always ask you is what? How can I make the show better? Because I know you're going to tell me you like the show because that's why you watched it. And I appreciate that. I'm never going to knock you for that. But I need to know how I can make the show better. That's what I want to do. And when you give me a product and I try it, I'm going to tell you the things that I didn't like about it. Some of them I know we personal. Lee, the mask Lee made, I like them. But I don't have strong ear cartilage. They were pulling my ears. But the masks were great. My mom loves hers. They don't bother her ears. And for those y'all who don't know, I also wear a hearing aid. So I need a thinner ear loop. But the masks, they look great. I think Lyle may have got one. He doing some other stuff. But all we're doing is giving you honest critique about how to make your product a little bit better. And you want to get with people who don't just tell you, oh, you're going to bring the blue back. You can't just get people who telling you got something great, but they're not giving you advice on how to become greater. There's nothing worse than being patted on the back. Me and Roy will tell you. Hey, Roy will tell you, I'm always telling him things I want him to do for the show. Or can we try this? Or can we try that? Because you can't stay stagnant. Lee said it earlier. You got to adapt to the needs of your customers. You can't just stay focused on what you want. Trina, the glasses that Trina made me in the beginning, like these are so outdated now. Wait till y'all see the new ones I'm gonna get. After now I'm at the bottom of the list. I don't know why, since I'm a best salesman, but that's a whole nother story. I'm gonna call the child labor law people. But she's gotten so much better in her technique and what she's doing and the things she's adding. See, Roy's is etched. Roy Glass, I'm a little offended. I'm upset. But hey, you know what? We're gonna appreciate the fact that it took us a minute to do his, because these were play glasses. Everybody's getting a glass better than mine now. Because as you do this and you pick up customers, you can improve your technique. We done invested in a couple of different machines now so that we can make it better. And that's the whole process. Roy wants to get some things done so he gets better machines, because it's all about upgrading. But you got to upgrade at a level that you can afford to and go from there. So that's where you go. Look at Trina I'm in the process of designing your new glass as we speak. I'm about to hook your new one, and Roy's up. Okay, that's what's up. That's what's up. All right, we're gonna love y'all. Me love you long time. Me love you long time.
Yeah, that's him. I'm gonna appreciate you.
So when we do this, like I say, the whole entrepreneurial thing, and this goes right along with the theme of men, real men, real women. Real women are about making their money. Real men are about making their money. You know what I'm saying? They got to do what it takes to keep everything going. You see Lee, you see Cinnamon. They're not sitting back waiting. Roy ain't sitting back waiting. Lyle ain't sitting back waiting. I mean, right now, I'm lucky. Trina will tell you, if I let her come on the show, and I ain't letting her come on the show because she gonna lie to y'all. But Trina will say she got pushed into this. I don't know how she can get pushed if you make a glass. Does that look like I pushed her to make this? But she wasn't when she first started playing with the glasses, she wasn't in a position where she could make 20, 30, 40, 50 glasses. That wasn't her intent. She was trying to do bath bombs, go figure, and soaps. And this is where we at, because you never know what your customers want. You can't get so focused on what you want that you ignore your customers. Remember, your customers keep you in business, and you got to go to them. Lee switched from mass, and Lee just did some upgrade on mass. She just was talking about them, but you have to go with what the customers want. I've done business with people who were, hell, the club that me and Roy met at. The owners got too busy into what they wanted versus what was good for the business. They drove themselves away. That ain't what happened to Ricardo. Yeah, that had I had enough money for that, I would have loved to have that place.
Dude, I'm
But
still trying to figure out how to get them to let me back in Barley's. Oh, I'm sorry. I
they were
guess you weren't trying to say the name. My bad.
but they were so interested in making it a black place that was good for the owners that they didn't care about the customer base. And I'm watching a place next to them that wasn't even half the place crowded every night. We can barely be crowded, and they asking me for my expertise because this is what I've done. Oh, no, we want to do this. It's a sports bar. Why y'all got a band in here playing super loud?
But
Y'all trying to charge people and kick them out. Dude, what did y'all get that idea from?
But D, I'm
downtown.
gonna tell you something. I'm gonna jump in on that one because the idea of what they had wasn't the problem, and I'm not even gonna just talk about him specifically, but because I've seen this in other places. The problem that he had is that he wanted to, and this is partially to your point, he wanted to do certain things, and that's all he wanted to do. Now, what happened is they got very good at that, and the spot ended up making hella money. So, they got to a point where shit, Thursday, Friday, and Saturday, dude, it was a wrap. You saw the line coming in that place,
right?
And you had to reserve a seat. Where he lost a lot of money and where he didn't do the things that he could have, like you discussed to. And at one point, he actually gave me, dude, I ended up getting, I don't know if I ever told you because I don't think you was working with him. Hell, I ended up getting the key on Sundays. Because I'm like, bruh, how you go to a sports bar downtown Atlanta, you got 5 hotels within walking distance of you, and you not open until 4 o'clock. You don't open on a Sunday, on a Saturday or a Sunday. How you not opening all these damn TVs, these pool tables? You ain't got nobody in here watching football games on Saturdays and Sundays. I'm like, what the hell are you doing? That's what hurt him.
No, and the thing I told him, every club does the same thing. Every time you open a new club, the first quarter, 3-4 months is gonna be great because it's new. Then people will stop coming because you're repeating the same thing over and over again. You got the same bands playing the same music, and for the people who are coming at the hotel, which is who you should have been catering to, this is not their genre. They want more well-rounded stuff. They don't care if you play rap, whatever. They don't want a whole night of rap. They don't want a whole night of R&B. They're here for the sports events. These people are paying mega bucks to stay at these hotels. They all have disposable income. You're not having a Bulldog day. You're not having a Yellow Jacket day. You keep talking about jazz. You keep talking about R&B. Again, you got no sports. That first UFC fight, I purchased it myself for them. But they didn't even know anything about the UFC.
I remember that.
Dude, are y'all shitting me? Y'all running a sports bar and y'all even have pictures of beer. But that's a whole nother story. But again,
right.
That's when you ask people to help you, and all you want to do is ignore the information because you think what you're doing is working. When you open up a business, and a lot of us are lucky, a lot of us do have good friends, and they will support your business initially. But you can't depend on your friends to support your business every month. Cinnamon, we appreciate what you did, but it's not realistic for me to believe that Cinnamon is going to purchase $100 of bath bombs every month to keep the business afloat. That's unrealistic. It's unrealistic. Lee can't think that I'm gonna buy $100 worth of masks every month to support our business, and that's what we get into. We get caught up in that first 2 or 3 month phase where things may go good for us because we do have some loyalist friends who have decent money that will buy from us. But then what happens after that? Because think about this. What's up, Mike? Think about this in real world terms. Once you get a glass from Trent, unless you break the glass, why would you come back and get another one?
Right.
It's not something that's going. It ain't gonna destroy itself in 3 or 4 months. So Trina is gonna need for you to show your glass to somebody else so she can get repeat business. So and this is the thing that people don't consider, and this is why you have to do these things and go from there. This is why you need a group of people who will tell you, critique you, not criticize, critique. And when people critique you, one of the things that one of my bosses told me, she's like, Darren, anybody can tell me what's wrong. If you can't tell me how to fix what's wrong, keep it to yourself. So whenever I try to talk to people, I try to give them some options based on what I've done in this field. When they ask me questions about stuff I don't know about, I said, let me get with somebody else on you. because we have to understand that whole process. Mike, the life coach, hey, hit that link and join me on the page in the show.
D, let me ask a quick question for Cinnamon and Lita, if they can. What cities are y'all located in? Okay, I'm sorry. Go ahead.
Cinnamon is here. Lee is in Texas.
Which part of Texas then? So okay.
I want to say I think she said Houston.
Oh yeah, both of y'all need to be on the program. So I'll tell you what the deal is when we finish this piece here.
But like yesterday, I did a show with Mike, the life coach, and it was 4 men, and we're talking about our different experiences and how men relate to certain things. And this is the great thing about Facebook. You get to meet people that you wouldn't normally meet in life, and sometimes they give you way more valuable information than people in your own circle. You just have to be like somebody told me, the mind is like an umbrella. It only works when it's open. So when you're open to ideas, and we talked about this on the show last night, what I did with somebody else. We're open to suggestions from people if they come to us from a position of respect or love. Don't come to me with judgy. If you're judgy, I'm already dismissing you. Oh, you got a great thing, but yeah. But when you touch me on the show, hey man, I really like this. Have you ever thought about this? It's received differently. And that's part of the process as we grow, as we want to make money. Because, like I said, I was listening to an interview and the guy said Bill Gates was telling people, invest for the long term, quit investing for 90 days. That's what'll turn you off. It's no different than a weight loss. If you try to go on a diet, you can lose the weight, but it comes back double because the body turns you because it realized you were just fooling it. If you want long-term, sustained weight loss, be prepared to lose 2 to 3 pounds a month. If you're losing 15, 20 pounds a month, you are damaging your body. What's going on? Mike is here. He's a life coach.
Actually, it's 2 to 3 pounds a week. You can actually healthy. I was a trainer, so you can lose 2 to 3 pounds a week is what you tell people they should be targeting for.
Right, and a lot of that is diet change. When people talk about they lost 20, 30 pounds, you're doing a fad diet. Your body's gonna make you pay for that. But this is one of those things where you want people to give you good information and tell you about long-term success, because longevity is what we're in this for. Roy don't plan to let this radio station go next year.
I've been at it for 22.
Even through all my hiatuses, Random Thoughts with DVP has been being aired for what, at least 6 years? How long ago did I start with you?
It may have been 7, actually. I was just looking at it the other day. I think it was 7.
But and Roy got me into this. Roy can tell you, there was a time when I truly hated doing this. And I've gotten better at it. I used to have a lot of dead space. Roy explained to me about having dead space because I didn't know what to say, which is why, he ended up jumping in to help me with that. He's taught me how to be a better host, a better MC, a DJ. I don't know what I'm called. I don't know what I'm supposed to call, but he taught me how to be better. But this is how the system works. He gave me some critiques. Hey, you got to start doing this. Start paying more attention to this. And I didn't sit back and say, hey, man, I'm doing this. You asked me to do it. Shut up. Let me do it how I want to do it. That would have been counterproductive for both of us. And this is why I say you want to have people who can critique you versus criticizing you. The show I did, and I keep talking about Mike, the life coach, is here. He's going to be on the show with me soon. And we're talking about how men talk, how we exchange information, how we receive information, how do we pass it on. This is what we have to learn how to do. We have to learn to communicate without being judgmental or without imposing our will on people. There are things I want Trina to do that I think will make Trina better. All I can do is tell her. It's up to her to follow that script. Some she don't like, some she don't. But because she knows what works best for her. There's things she want me to do. Some of the things she tells me I like, some of them I don't. We talk about them. Why don't you do this? Why don't I do that? Well, I'm uncomfortable with that. Roy was like, why don't you doing more live events? And I had to tell Roy, you don't understand. I panic at these events. And Roy was like, nah, you're doing good. And so one show, I made Roy give me the bro hug so he could feel how wet I was, because I was soaking up underneath. And Roy was like, damn, I never knew. And I was like, yeah, Roy, I don't like doing these because they make me nervous, because now people in my face. I can't see none of y'all. So I ain't nervous. But when we was at Mango's, man, Mango's was causing me to lose 2 to 3 pounds a show. But Roy thought everything was great. But I couldn't wait to get out of there because I was soaking. I was soaking. And because I was so nervous, my heart. And I'm thinking the people in the audience can see my heart because I was like that. My heart was just boom. I'm thinking, damn, they don't hear that over the speaker. I'm moving the microphone back so they can't hear my heart beating. And Roy just like, what's wrong? I'm like, remember I used to always get up and walk around the room because I needed to get air through my system. I wasn't trying to mingle with the crowd. I just needed to get up so that sweat wouldn't just keep soaking on me. And Roy would just look at me and laugh. And I was like, man, I'm trying to tell you, Roy, I'm over here. Whew. I would do the shows at Mango's. By the time I got home, I would go straight to sleep because I was so physically exhausted. I'm trying to get better at that, which is why I ain't in a rush to do them. But I realize they work. They'll make me better. They'll make the network better.
And what? Hey, go ahead. Finish your thought. No, finish your thought.
Oh, and I knew that when Buddy wanted to feed us and give us something to drink, I knew that he appreciated us bringing all them people in there because from where we started doing the show to what happened with the show, I mean, it's 50 people in there and 46 of them are. Oh, nah, bro. It's time to do this. It's time to do this. I don't need no more food or drink. Go ahead.
Right. And I was going to say, and the other thing that actually comes from that is that we had, I think, 2 other people who came in there, and because of that, they wanted us to come out. Do you remember the little pizza spot that we got that was out on Old National?
Yep.
And, so it's like that's what happens. I mean, the growth of it, and this is one of the things, it's funny because this is one of the things that I tell people about this process and what we're doing even as a network. And this was kind of that whole situation with you at first, with you and the team. Because when he left the first time, he was like, yo, we need to do this and we need to do that and we need to do this. And I kept telling him, I'm like, it's not time for us to do these things yet. Because I think the 2 main things was, one was they saying we needed an app, and I forget what the other one was, but I know the main thing was an app. They're like, oh, you got to have an app. You got to have an app. I was like, no, you don't at this point. Because at first, the reality of it is that apps were just becoming very popular on the phone. So they were, again, the fad. Everybody was jumping on it and saying that they got an app. But it wasn't productive for what we were doing. And so, and when they left, and I think, if I'm not mistaken, when you left to go to the other people, because I knew who they were, I told you, I said, I'm going to tell you, this is exactly what's going to happen when you go to that network. And I said, and you're going to end up bringing more to them than they bring to you. And I said that you're going to lose the ability to do things that you thought that you didn't even think about until you get ready to do it. And I remember the first time he called up was like, I can't even go do no live shows nowhere. And it's just like, it's a process. And that's one of the things that I try to walk people through is that we as black people, one of the challenges that we have is that, and you use the perfect term, that whole 90-day thing. We looking at quick money. We don't want to build something. We don't want to build a foundation. Because it's like we used to concerts, parties, and stuff like that, entertainment-based stuff that you're going to put your money into, and at the end of the night from that date that you're going to get your money back. Those are the kind of things that we're used to. And like I tell people, that's not what we're trying to build here. We're trying to build something that's going to be around for another 70 years, that's going to be an industry leader. And it takes putting solid foundations and steps in between each one of them. And so, like I told him, the reason, and just to give an example, the reason that we did not have an app at the time is because we didn't have enough live content for us to justify the app. Because we know that people, no matter how much DVP people like him, they're not going to listen to his show, the same show every day for a week. They're going to need different content. And that's what we were trying to get people to understand. It's like as we drive in more content and then get a certain amount, then we can do other things. Then we can start making those kind of moves. Just real quick to go ahead and answer the question. We actually have an advertising deal right now that's $480, but that's for a full year. So it's $40 a month, and we got a full blown package. I will try to Lee. If y'all can see my comments, I think I made a comment on the thing. Go ahead and send me a friend request or something, and I'll send you the information on that. I was trying to tag it in here, but it wouldn't let me. It wouldn't let me do. Oh, actually, I can tag the actual deal in there. Um, if y'all are interested in doing something, I'll actually take yours down to 350. But it's going to be something that you'd have to make a decision on in the next week or so, because we're actually getting ready to change the price point as we move into 2021. Because like you said, we actually do have a whole lot of stuff. And just to give you one of the prime things about what we do is that our primary product is actually black college sports. So we do a lot of things where we stream and broadcast HBCU sports online. And that's why he said you were in Houston. I saw you said Dallas Fort Worth. Dallas is still actually one of our primary markets that we're going to go into. But we've got 10 cities that we're actually targeting for 2021 that we will be doing physical events and stuff in once they open us back up to some different things. So, yeah, I mean, it's got to be a process, man. And we actually help people with their businesses. I actually used to teach business development classes for the African American Chamber and for the Disney Entrepreneur Center. So we have full resources to help the people that advertise with us and do stuff. And just like Dee was talking about with mangoes, I walked in there just because I happened to be downtown with my daughter one day. The owner is Jamaican like my people are, so we started talking and everything. That's how we got in at first to do the first few shows. Hell, he became an advertiser with the network. When he opened up his spot in the West End, he was like, "Hey man, I've been looking for you. Here, let me send you this other money so you can start advertising for the new spot." I mean, we do stuff.
Things. I mean, because it wasn't. By my plan, it wasn't a plan. But once we went live, I started telling people about it, and I'm a firm believer. And I tell you, I only count people I see. Lots of people said they were gonna come. Oh yeah, I'm gonna come check you out. I'm gonna come check you out. I'm gonna come check you out. Bam! I looked up, and they started coming. And it was the greatest thing was having my people and actually meeting some people who I never met on Facebook. They would show up and I'm like, damn, you look familiar. And they were like, I'm so-and-so. We Facebook friends. I watch your show and I was like, well, shit, that's what's up. Because it actually does work. Yeah, and we accept the fact that we not CBS or ESPN. We taking baby steps, And the thing is if we can have a place and we can start out with 10 people, they see it's fun, they let their people know, they check out the live, then we go to 20, 30, 50, 100. Oh yeah, what I'm saying? Let's do it. Let's make this the way. But this is how we get into money, how we get into the realness, because we're helping each other with business. Because Cinnamon got a product that's easy. It's easy to sell itself. Black on. Trina has a product. Lee's got a product. Some of you other ones got products. They're easy. I had a lady who made a pillow. You know what I'm saying? And these things are they're almost self-serving with the right audience. And sometimes and Lee and Cinnamon and even Roy. Sometimes the best thing you get is people who you don't know that want to use you, because you're like, where did you come from? When people inbox me and want to, they be like, I watch a show and they tell me something about the show and they're like, I want to be a guest, or can you talk about this? To me, that's motivation to keep going. Because Roy knows. There's a couple times I'll be like, yeah, Roy, before I didn't know how to tell who was watching the show, and I would always tell Roy, how do I know people watching the show? People inbox me and be like, if you don't say something during the show, I don't know you're there. Because people ask me, there's a couple of times I missed for other reasons. People are like, why you not doing the show? Like, hey, ain't nobody watching it. Oh man, I watch. I said, but you never say nothing. And find out that, hey, you guys like being addressed. So Hirsch, Cliff, y'all know what page y'all supposed to be on. I like to address all my viewers. That's one of the things I like about Facebook. But yeah, eventually I'm gonna push all y'all over to the app, because we need y'all to be on the app. That generates a stream that can be measured. And Congress talking about doing whatever with Facebook. I don't think they're gonna do nothing with it, but it works. It works. And we'll discuss the pros and the cons of it, because for the most part, we probably ain't gonna never truly leave Facebook. We'll probably have because Facebook does advertising. But this is where you talk to people who know systems and pick the streams that work best for you. Because this is how we grow. And it's okay. It's okay to take baby steps. Trina had a guy on her page talking about how, she ain't gonna never make $1 million thinking small. Well, you don't ever make $1 million until you make small money. Very few people just jump out, open something, and they billionaires. They start off with making $100, then they make $200, You know, that whole journey thing that starts with you got to take one step before you go 20 miles. Right. But as Mike said, yeah, we got the bulk of what we need in our village. We just got to get rid of the riffraff, or hell, or let them go to their little corner.
Yeah, that's what I was
And
about to say.
the people who want to do something, you know, I was telling Mike on the show, he's like, how do you know which guys to talk to? I don't. I let the guys that want to be talked to come to me. And then it makes my job easier because I ain't trying to force my opinion, thoughts, or views on anybody else. But for those that want it, they'll gravitate toward me. Just like I gravitated back toward Roy. I wanted to see if our shit was the same. Because, you know, the grass going to grow. Roy uses better fertilizer instead of pure manure. So I came back to what worked for me. It allowed me to be more of myself. And I had more say so in it. But this is part of the whole thing where, you know, oh, well, a real man would have did this. A real woman would have did that. No, we all make our own decisions based on our own lifestyles. Roy's decisions, you know, we always joke about him being a Sith and me being no, I'm the Sith. I forgot how it go. Anyway.
Yes, you're the Sith.
Roy,
I'm a Jedi.
Roy's the good Jedi. Okay. He's a Jedi. And, you know, but that's okay. It works our personalities because you don't need for everybody to be in the circle. The worst thing you can ever have is a bunch of yes people in your circle because they're never going to make you better. One of the things that I love about Trina is that she ain't no pushover. I don't want a puppy for a girlfriend. Some guys like that. It doesn't work for me. I've dated the puppy women who, whatever you say, they was on board with it, yada yada yada. It just doesn't work for me. Hey, that's what's up, Mike. Like I said, we're gonna get this. I just told Cliff to come over, but you know, I can't say that works for every man. It works for me. All of us don't like the same things, so why would I sit back and tell Roy, "Oh, Roy, you need to get you a high-spirited woman. You need to get." I know men and women who both like drama in their relationships. They live for the drama. If things are going too good, they're going to start a fight. Why would I tell them to go for a mild-mannered guy? It ain't going to work for nobody. We don't all like the same things. Real men, real women don't all like the same things. Everybody don't want to be mega rich. Some people, this guy, I just want to be comfortable. You know, my phrase is, I want to be able to eat steak once a month. As long as I can afford to eat steak once a month, I'm good. I'm good. If I make more than that, I ain't going to run from it, but I'm not finished stressing. I don't want to be at a point where I got to work so much because I want to be this millionaire that it takes time away from Trina. It takes time away from the girls. It takes time away from me playing PlayStation. It takes time away from me doing this. I want to be able to relax. I want to be able to chill. I want to be able to call Roy and say, Roy, I'm just not feeling it today, bro. You know, re-air a show. And Roy be like, no. You got to do this. You got to do 50 shows a year. Well, I don't want to do 50, bro. You got to. And, you know, I don't want that kind of stress in my life. And some people do, some don't. And this is where we got to stop trying to be overly pushing. Mike is a life coach. I'm going to get Mike on here, and we're going to talk about some things because I like talking to different life coaches because they all have their own areas, and it's like with anything else. You listen to a bunch of stuff. You pick the tools that you like that they tell you about. You put them on your tool belt. You know, when I taught people self-defense. Everybody's not going to like all the same tactics. The techniques that work better for Roy won't work the same for Lyle. Different heights, different weights, a lot of different things. But I'm showing you a bunch of different things so you can pick 4 or 5 that you like. Learn those. Remember the other ones, but learn the good ones. Learn the ones that work best for you. And that's what you got to do. And we got to stop being so content on telling everybody, well, hell, my JBN ain't going to be for everybody. It ain't. And you know, that's life. Relationships, you know, we talked about this on the show yesterday. You know, everybody want relationships to be so fulfilling when relationships are meant to be educational. That's why, for the most part, we don't stay with the first person. We learn more and more about ourselves for each and every relationship. You build up on that knowledge base that you're learning. You let them introduce something good, something bad, but they show you more about yourself. What you will put up with, what you won't put up with, what you do like, what you don't like. All women are not the same. All men are not the same. So when you date, even though Roy's dating with a purpose, his purpose is still to become a better Roy. Yeah, Roy may meet a woman who knows more about radio stuff than him, or has some information that he never thought about. Trina has. I'm way older than Trina, but she said some things I never thought about. That that's the benefit of dating outside of your known circle, because sometimes people can say stuff. It's just like talking to a child. Any of y'all ever talked to a child and they said something that was it was simply dumb that you didn't figure it out? But it's like, it's like, damn, they just made shit so simple. I'm sitting here, I got a quadratic equation for how to turn air into gold, and the child says, you could just, if you just hit turn it on, then it'll work. It's like, what kind of shit is that? How did they figure that out so simple? But sometimes you just need a fresh face. So I'm learning, then leaving me. Roy, I thought we blocked Trina. Good, Google it, Moogle it. Mike, this gonna be your first. This gonna be your first thing. Is dealing with Trina, Mike, because she's something else. But yeah, this is what we gotta be to be better as people. This is what we get beyond real men, women, the money, and the myths. It's about becoming better. It's about becoming better. We've never met Lee. Never. But we've had several conversations with Lee. Trina and Lee talked about Lee told Trina some things about making stuff, and it's like, bam, from people that we never met simply through Facebook. Hell, I ain't even sure where me and Lee met. But Lee is just that girl. You meet people in the cyber world, and they seem like such good people, and you realize, had it not been for this meeting, we would have never met. I mean, me and Roy would have met because we met at Barley's. But will we have gotten to this point without Facebook? Who knows? Probably not, because
Right.
Roy invited me to do a show based off my Facebook post. So without Facebook, Roy probably would have never knew I had this weird sense of humor or weird way of thinking, because that's what it all started with, my post from back in the day. And he's like, dude, you funny. You should have a show. And I'm like, just because I type some shit don't mean I can say some shit. And it just kind of went from there. But he pushed me. He pushed me without being annoying. Kind of like Ernest. I don't know if you still there, Ernest, but kind of like Ernest. Ernest told me to think about modeling, which is funny because I had a client who wanted to pay for me to get some pictures taken. And it's like, why? I mean, I didn't see nothing special about the way I looked. I thought I needed to shave, but I had a client who said, "Hey, man, I'm gonna get a photographer. I want you to do this, do this." I'll try it, because I've learned that it's okay to step outside of my comfort zone. This is way outside of my comfort zone. Even though I knew people saw me when I walked in the Barley's, Roy would tell you, I walked in, I walked out. If you weren't paying attention, you could miss me both times. But there was a light that was with me because I ran shit. But I didn't go there. I didn't go there raising hell, screaming, and make sure everybody knew who I was. I spoke to people, as they like to say, I slinked through the club, like I was on roller skates. Came in, made my rounds, and dipped right back out.
Yeah, hell, I had to ask who he was. I had to ask where the security guards. Like, who this dude is? I'm like, I keep seeing him come through here. And she was like, oh, hell, he our boss. So I was like, oh, okay.
But I was never into making a scene. I didn't want to be known by people. I didn't. Hell, even the first time I met Roy, I never introduced myself because it just wasn't what I was known to do. My job is to make sure everything is safe. Check what I check and dip. That's what I did. So this was a whole new experience for me. I'm grateful for it. But no, Mike, that was definitely it. That was definitely it. I told him from the beginning I saw something in his personality once I started knowing, because this is what I do. I put people on the air. I've been in radio and television for 25 years, and actually more than 25 years now, and I know how to see people with that it. I can find people with that it. And so that was always one of the things that I noticed. And when I saw the way I saw him interacting, and then I did start seeing his posts, I was like, oh yeah, he can make this thing, and was like, yeah, he can do some stuff if he just, it took a little time to get into it. And that's how we kind of got going with it. And yeah, just to throw this out there too, for anybody who's looking to do a podcast, we've actually got a deal that we're running. We're running this through the end of the year too, for people to sign up, where we'll do 6 months full production of your show for $450. And the package that you would get is actually normally a $200 a month package. And this is one of the things that y'all can blame Darren for.
You know, but because that was one of the
See this
things.
innocent face. See this innocent face. How can I be blamed for anything?
Yeah, because I mean, it got to the point where, and I've just gotten to that place now, and especially with all of the things that we've got coming up, and the opportunities um, that have been opened up to us with the being able, the ways that we know we're going to be growing the network. You know, he was like, dude, you got to stop giving what you're doing away, because he's like, that's just what you're doing. He's like, especially after I've been to some of these other places and knowing that they can't do or they don't do, half the stuff that you guys do. And, like he said, when I would tell somebody all the time, they'd be like, well, how many different countries can you put my show in? I'm like, why are you worried about how many countries your show going to be in? What somebody in Colombia going to do for a business that you got that's sitting in Atlanta that's a storefront? And I used to always tell that, and that's what it is. I'm like you said, I'm always be real. I'm always be upfront, and that's where we are with it right now. So like I said, we got that deal, and we even work with people. If you want to get into one of these deals before we start it, all you got to do is you can pay for it and start it when you want to. We ain't going nowhere. That's the one thing I can let folks know. So like I told D when he left, he's like, yo, dude, I'm gonna be here when you get ready to come back home, and we were here. So, because we not going nowhere, because for me, this is more than just a business. It's more than just something to do. This is my calling, and this is my passion, and it's always going to be going on regardless of what happens with it. So,
and that's it. Cinnamon want to do one, and this is one of the things, because there are a couple people who say they want to do one. And I tell, if you want to do one, let me know. If you want me to come on there with you to help you navigate it, because I do understand things differently. I do understand the dead air space. I do understand a little bit better about how the process works. I know how nervous I was. Hell, I know how nervous I still get sometimes. So, Cinnamon, if you want to make it happen, just let me know. I'll be your guest. If you want to come on here and do something just to get it in, because me and Roy, we actually did a couple of practice sessions, 15, 20 minutes, just to get me in the habit of doing it. Because one of the things, and it's funny because John L., who's part of my management team, one of the things that he brought to my attention, because he made me start watching and paying more attention. He's like, one of the greatest things that you do, D, is you can carry a whole show by yourself for 2 hours. Most people can't do that. And he had me watch Colin Hurd, whatever the Hurd,
the sports one.
And he was like, and I was like, damn, because I never thought about it like that. He said, dude, you sit in front of your door without anybody, and you keep an audience, and they stay there with you. You got 10 or 15 people who will stay with you for an hour to 2 hours and interact with you. He said, that's a talent. And I never saw it as that. That's why it was good to have a team for people who can see things that I never saw. For those of y'all who was with me in them days, sometimes I would talk to Trina from afar. Even when me and Roy first started, he normally sat over to the side, and he was my wingman. But for the most part, hell, we didn't even have no commercials at all, and we didn't even have real breaks or anything, other than if the phone might have run.
No, yeah, we did. He just didn't know. He didn't like to take them, but okay, you can go ahead.
Anyway, but this was one of those things that it's like, all right, that's what's up. So I have a slight talent at doing this, and as Lee was saying, you just had to like the kind of person I was, because I do have between being witty and sarcastic, as she's saying, I emceed a show with a bunch of crocheters, and I called them hookers. Some people got offended by that. Other people went with it and rolled with it, because they understand that people who crochet use a hook,
right?
And they got it. So I'm kind of like that Dick Gregory, Jerry Seinfeldish. If you don't get wit and sarcasm, you could miss what I'm saying, because you're so caught up in your feelings and emotions. And and then there are times, as people have had to learn, I'm hood too. You're only gonna push me so far before I let the project boy out in me, because they take my niceness for something else and just think they can be disrespectful. And I try hard to be as respectful as I can, because Roy wants me to be a certain way. But we done had a couple people on the show who just kept trying to push the button for the wrongest of reasons. I'm gonna only be diplomatic for so long. And Mike, that's why you're gonna be here, because we're gonna have some raw conversations, because I like what we did, and I got fortunate, most of my followers are women, and they want to know about men, and I like to have different men on so they can get different perspectives. I like to have the women on here so that women can relate to them or see that they not as weird as some guys are making them out to be. You know, hopefully most women ain't like Trina where they, you know, they're abusing a man and holding him hostage and stuff like that. But that's a whole nother subject for a whole nother show. Remember, blink twice. So that just let y'all know I'm in trouble. All right, send help. But yeah, so it's 10 minutes till, and like I said, I like doing this. I like having you guys here. I like when you guys send me topics that you want me to talk about or address, and I want to get deeper into the money. I want to get deeper into investing, and of course, I still want to get deeper into relationships, because these are the things that make us better. But we have to have uncomfortable conversations. One of the few things I actually got from a Dr. Phil show is that too many times we like to talk about topics versus issues. We have to address issues, not just speaking points, because that's where we get lost. We'll talk about a topic, and topics are so general. You have to get those fine points. You know, everything that's going on now, and I know we're gonna want to talk about this. You know, we're in the midst of a world we ain't never seen, and everybody got these expectations for Biden. Let the man get in office. He ain't gonna do nothing at the time everybody want. That ain't never been the way politics work. That ain't the way relationship work. Everything happens in time. The man is in the midst of a fucking firestorm, and people say, "Oh, he need to get more blacks. He don't need to get more nothing other than qualified people." Let's start with what truly is. You know, when people ask me, have your agent call. When people ask me, well, what does she do? And I'm a firm stickler for, until we start talking about putting mental health facilities in black and brown communities and just and rehab centers, nothing else matters to me. It sounds cute to say put more money into these places, but until we address mental health issues, what good is it having businesses and invest in all these businesses if they're not meant to succeed and be productive? How many nail shops and wing spots can we have in the hood? I mean, how many is too many? But and they're going out of business because we're not teaching people how to be business people. We're still not addressing the mental health issues that take us down. We're not addressing our health issues, which take us down. You know, and I ain't picking on Roy, but this is one of the things, and I tell people, do what you have to so that you can do what you want to. I'm retired from a job. I retired from the sheriff's department. Guess what I have? I have medical coverage. When you're an entrepreneur and you got to pay for medical coverage, see, that's a whole nother bill now, because it ain't coming out of a check. These are issues that Roy has to deal with, because you didn't retire from a job, did you, Roy?
No.
So if Roy has a medical issue, Roy has to pay into that. So if his clients are late paying him, guess what happens to his health insurance? He's late paying it. I don't have that issue. These are the things that we have to think about as we're paying ourselves. At some point, the health insurance has got to be a priority for us, because we aren't that group who has great health. And this is why, for me, just for me, anything that we talk about doing in our communities as an issue has got to be mental health related and physical health related, because we need to take better care of ourselves. We need to understand how to eat better, how we can have fun without drinking ourselves stupid, how we can do stuff. But we need a plan for success, and opening up a business is not a plan for success. When they tell you that more than half of the businesses fail within 24 months. So all we're doing is we setting up people to lose. What are we building when we keep building losers? We got to set them on a path where they can get there. Make sure you understand this. Make sure you understand that. Make sure you understand when you have a PTSD moment, but don't even realize that that's what you had. And this ain't no fix Ilyana where I'm telling you that everything was a traumatic experience, because it wasn't. But there's a things where we do need somebody to help us out, so that we can deal with the depression, so that we can deal with the undercover bullying that we never knew, so that we can deal with why we think that whooping children and telling them that we love them doesn't set about a bad precedence, because now they put love and violence in the same envelope. The fact that our parents did and we turned out to be great proves the point, because we still put love and violence together. See? And our parents didn't mean bad, but this is what we got to start addressing if we want to be better. So these are the things that we're gonna do. And Mike, this is what me, you, and the pastor gonna have some conversations with. And the other Mike, his mom was actually sick, so that's a whole different thing. But that's what I wanted to say. I'm gonna let y'all go because I feel myself starting to ramble, and Trina will come in here and smack me on the head when I start rambling too much. I'm gonna let Roy give y'all a couple of more information about the station, about how to get in touch with him. If you want to do something, like I said, either send Roy a friend request, or tell him send you one, or send it to me and I'll connect you to. Inbox me. Yeah, don't put on the page because once this closes out, I'm gonna go back and answer some things. But if you want to advertise, if you want to do your own podcast, let me know. I will gladly either have you on one of my shows just to get you in the habit of talking and getting you to understand how it works, or I'll be a guest on your show. Hell, I'll interview you on your own show so you can get started. If you want to advertise a product, let one of us know. We'll put the links up. He put the JBN link. His name is Roy M. Evans. Of course, my name is Darren Bell, or you can just inbox Random Thoughts with DVP. But Roy, go ahead and tell him, go ahead and give him the 90-second spiel again for those that missed it.
Yeah, I mean, but no, like you said, I mean, if you want to do something, and I actually work with people, I train folks in doing the process. If you've got something that you want to say, that you want to put out there, but you don't know how to do it, I can help you walk through the process of what it takes to do it. How do you set up the format for your show and all that kind of stuff. So from the podcast perspective, we definitely got you covered on that if you want to do it. Like I said, we've got the deal right now, 6 months of full production for $480 and or $450. I'm sorry, the advertising deal for a full year's worth of advertising. I sent the link to. I put the link in there. You can check it out. You see all the stuff that you get. You see the 10 cities and the 10 metro areas that we're going to be in, that we'll be doing things in, and that's going to be, like I said, once they open up with the stuff. Of course, we got a lot more in-person events that we'll do. Like I said, we're going to be doing a lot of stuff with HBCU sports coming up again. That being at live events. We're actually working on our own space right now. We are actually looking for 3 more investors to come on. We've got a special investment opportunity that we're doing right now. We're looking for people to invest $3,000 for 3 years. It's got an accelerated return plan. If you're interested, hit me up in the inbox. I can give you more information about that and tell you the details on it. It's people who are buying into it, who believe in what we're doing as a network. And, but those funds, the reason we're trying to get those funds in also before the end of the year, because that's a special deal. And I'm going to use the word that Darren don't like, but it's a guaranteed that worst case scenario, if we close down, you'll get your money back. So, and there's a reason that we're doing a very limited number of people with that, but that is what it is. So we've got that, but yeah, again, if you ladies are interested in the advertising of your business, we will do the deal for you at the $350 instead of the $480. So, I saw both of you accepted the friend request. Just get at me and we'll chat it up. But yeah, we're here. We're going to change the world. We got a lot of stuff that's getting ready to happen. I don't know if I have it on this page. I'm gonna play something because one of the things is, it's ironic. People like to be validated. We sometimes we as black folk got to get validated. So I'm gonna play something here real quick. I think I got it in here. To let you guys see. I know how to get to it. So, D, I may have you talk for a quick minute while I pull it.
Yeah. If y'all want to do something, just make sure y'all mention the DVP special, because I ain't going to let him offer this on no other shows. So, because I've been here, back and forth for a minute. We've been at this for a while, at least 7 years, according to Trina, because that's how our youngest will be 7 next year. So, she wasn't even around. She wasn't even born when me and Roy started this. So that means we've been together for at least 7 years. But yeah, if y'all want to do something, like I said, just when you inboxing him, just throw in the DVP special. I'm gonna go ahead and get this brand recognition now, and I'm gonna make sure we require a couple things like y'all sign into the MyJBN network. Because, like I said, this is what we're gonna do. This is how we're gonna support each other. Supporting me is free. You know, share the show, or in my world, more important is that you invite people to like the page, because that's how Facebook starts getting this. That's how Facebook starts doing revenue with a business. The more people who come to the page and like the page, the more I become a viable solution or retailer for them. So ask your friends to come like the page, or have them come to a show.
D.
Like I said, I do this every Saturday. I'm sorry, every Wednesday from 6 to. Yes, sir.
I'm gonna jump in real quick so we can get this in. So I know most people probably heard about the lawsuit that Byron Allen had against Comcast and Charter last year. Well, of course, it went to the Supreme Court. Theoretically, he lost it. Officially, he lost the case. But what ended up happening was Comcast and Charter ended up settling with him. And so and people think he lost it. In my opinion, he won, because he was able to get them to do some stuff. And so he had done an interview right before they were going to the Supreme Court, as he was doing a media push to give people information about what was actually happening with the case. And it was a $50 billion lawsuit, to let folks know. And he did an interview on The Breakfast Club. And so y'all can check this out. Just like I said, if somebody needs validation, one about how long we've been around and doing different things. But check this out. It's only a minute and 12 seconds, so we got a little time.
To these colleges. And we have to fund our kids in these colleges. And we have to make sure our kids have seats in these colleges.
Now, what about HBCUs? You mentioned.
Absolutely. You got to fund them all, and you've got to make sure they're properly funded. The real reason why I went after Comcast and Charter, it didn't have anything to do with my cable networks. It didn't. What happened was a gentleman wanted to do the Black College Sports Network in partnership with the HBCUs, and Comcast did not accept it, and that would have made a lot of money for these black colleges.
Absolutely.
And it would have educated the Black College Sports Network. This is what he wanted to do. That would have educated a lot of black kids. And when they didn't do that, that's when I came off the bench and said, okay, I'm going to light you up like a Christmas tree. Okay? That was the real reason why I got into it, was when I saw what happened with the Black College Sports Network, which I don't own. I just knew.
Why didn't you buy it?
I just knew. I just knew that these black.
I like that term.
All right. I knew that these black colleges were going to benefit, and these black kids were going to get the education that they deserved and not have to pay. And
so, yeah, the first part of the Jericho Broadcast Networks was the Black College Sports Network. So he was talking about me. I didn't even see the interview live. My brother called me from Miami and told me about it. But we've been at this for a very long time. So this isn't something, like I said, this is not something that's new. We've got a lot of national attention. People in our industry know who we are. Even though we may not be the biggest, we may not be the flashiest, because we're not trying to be that yet. We're trying to be the most consistent, and we're trying to do things, like I said, that are going to benefit our community. We've turned down money from major corporations because they wanted us to change our format. And we let them know that y'all are not going to dictate what we put on the air for our company. So that's it for me, though. Since you was doing good trying to get us out of here before 8 o'clock.
She came back in here without no glasses. She threatened me. Hold on, let me let y'all see these blink. 1, 2, 1, 2. So send help. But yeah, we're gonna do this. Cinnamon, Lee, let me know what y'all want to do. Reach out to Roy. We're gonna make something happen. I will be back Wednesday. We're gonna do a show Christmas week. Yes.
That's on you, dude. You the one with the people around you. Yeah.
Yeah, we're gonna do a show Christmas week. I'm gonna see if Trina got these glasses ready. As always, I appreciate you guys' time and energy and interacting with me. Mike, be prepared. You say you stay ready, so let's make it happen. Cinnamon, we're gonna do the stock thing, and we're gonna do your show about your products when you get everything situated. Lee, you already know what it is. So until next week, peace, popcorn, and chicken grease, and we out.